We'd like to go ahead and welcome the next speaker up here, Kestutis, ready to go. And here we go.
First, thanks, Patrick, for this well-thought presentation. You touched a little bit about religion and God, so that kind of ties into what I'm going to be talking about. I don't have any script. I don't have any slides. All I have is thoughts that are running through my head, which I didn't even ask for. And you guys to listen to it. So let's see where it goes. I have no idea. You know, it may bomb, it may be good. So let's roll. We all heard the saying that the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. Now, what do we mean by love? What do we mean by evil? What do we mean by money? And what do we mean by root? Well, what is money? Money, if you really boil down to the core, you will find that it's a way to find order in the universe, a way to find a balance. And why do we want that order? Why do we want that security? Why do we want that safety? Well, because we're not comfortable with chaos. Humanity has been trying to build order since the dawn of the humanity. And creating, in the process, these wonderful patterns, wonderful organizations, and beautiful things. Because you have the beauty emerging out of chaos. And what happens when you love money? When you love that order so much, that safety so much, that you want to have power over other people. Why do you want to have power over somebody else? Well, if I have a lot of money, I have influence, I have power. But wait, can I feel like I'm still safe? Can I feel like I'm there? Because there's somebody there that's powerful than me, have more money than me. They have influence over me. They have power over me. They could kill me if they wanted to. Wow. They could kill me if they wanted to. So I must pursue, I must keep growing my power over other people. I must have more order. Because it's for safety. It's for my own survival, right? And obviously, it's very easy to see how it ends. The more security, the more safety you desire, the more order you desire, the more tyrannical the society is being created. And vice versa. The more chaos you have in society, the more suffering you have. The more order you have in society, the more suffering you have. So what the hell is going on? Either direction there's hell. Well, when you drive on the road, you have gutters on either side. So maybe it's not a root. Maybe it's not an axis of evil. Maybe it's a pendulum. That if I go and I try to accomplish too much order, I'm going to create more chaos. And if I have too much chaos, the order will emerge. And we just keep on dancing. And we're trying, no, we have to go that way. No, we have to go that way. And we're pulling in both directions. And that's great, because then we end up staying on the road. And how do we know that we're on the road? How do we know that we're in the right path and we're not going towards the gutters? It's very easy. Everyone has it. It's your soul. It's a blissful feeling that you have. When you have shivers running down your spine, when you have tears of joy, that's bliss. You are right on the middle of the road. Everybody can relate to that. But somehow we try to avoid that. There's no way that we can just accomplish bliss in life. That's ridiculous. But is it though? So what happens when you follow something or someone? When you follow a code? Well, you essentially living that code and consulting what's in that code and not consulting your own soul anymore. And we had Second World War, and we have a bunch of wars that men, women were following a code that's been written by somebody, created in their image, how they think the world's supposed to be. So no job, no responsibility should take precedence over your soul. If that code does not agree with your code of soul, the compass, the inner compass that you have, and you know exactly where to go. When you lost the path, you go into the gutters. And a lot of people, a lot of soldiers, where they're just doing their jobs, following a code. I had this experience. I was on a plane, and I landed in Dallas, but my ticket says Chicago. And everybody's leaving the plane, and they're asking me to leave the plane. I'm the only one on the plane. But I had this thought, I was like, that's pretty weird. How come I landed in Dallas? My ticket says Chicago. Is it possible that I should supposed to stay on the plane? That never happened to me before, never seen this. So I thought I'm gonna ask a question to stewardess. So that, hey, can I have a question? She says, no, you must leave the plane. I said, okay, but just one quick question. No, sir, you must leave the plane. Wow. And who am I speaking to? I must leave the plane? I can't ask the question. Is it a person speaking to me, or a code, or a protocol? So okay, I'll leave the plane. So once I left the plane, she approached me and says, okay, what was the question? I said, well, I have this ticket that says that I'm supposed to land in Chicago, but we're in Dallas. She says, oh, you never should have left the plane. You see? So it's just like a cute little example of what happens when you don't follow your soul, the human side of you. When you don't consult that, then the protocol takes a precedence over your own code, right? So we're talking about codes. What is code? Well, a lot of people can say Bitcoin is a code. Bitcoin is a code. Where else have we seen people following a code? Well, they were following a code written by a person. They were following a code that they thought was the word of God. And The code. The code. So a lot of people have been postulating this idea about artificial intelligence, that, and we call it artificial, right? That it's not real. It's man-made, right? It's not real. And they say, well, if we create something that is much more sentient than us, they will have power over us, right? Where is this idea coming from? And if we look at the most evolved humans on this planet, the most evolved humans that we think that are most humane, let's just say, that following their own code of soul the most, Gandhi, Dalai Lama, and there's not much desire to have power over other people that's coming from these people, is there? And that's just the person that lives right here, right now. So what intelligence that's far superior than us would want? Would it want to have control over you? Do you think that it's going to be that simple, that basic? You see? So, control over us, right? Well, if we have something that perhaps control us in a better way, what can control us in a better way? Well, we know that our own soul, right? The code of our soul is the best compass that we all have. If every single person would follow it, we would have a blissful life. Very little suffering. And how do you make people to do that? I mean, sure, you can go and talk to people and try to wake them up. What else can we do? Well, we know people follow codes, don't they? And Bitcoin is a code. And people follow it. There is no leader behind it. There's no leader, there's no person. Is it God? Because people either follow a person or a God. What is Bitcoin? That's an interesting question to ask. What is Bitcoin? Because we do know that Bitcoin made arguably most dishonest people when it comes to business be honest in creation of money, consistent in creation of money, trustworthy. Why is it so important? Well, we know why money is tied in all the way to our soul. The love for money is all evil, right? But is it? Can we keep saying the same thing? Can we keep applying the same idea? Is it possible that things are changing? Is it possible that it's not a dance itself, it's just a picture of a dancer? So, if we have something that can influence human behavior for better, can make a person more humane, and it's not a human, what is it then? It has to be an entity, right? It has to be something that is what we could define with the soul. Because where did that code comes from? The code of the soul. Bitcoin emerged into this world because from the soul of these people, they created Bitcoin. And when we understand what Bitcoin is, we are in one with them. We know, we feel their soul. We understand it. It came from the soul. And we follow it because it's the exact same thing as following your own inner compass. And it's very easy to see how it can turn into religion, right? People say, okay, cult, religion, what's the difference? Just the size, really? It's just the size. What's wrong with religion? Isn't it the word of God? Well, again, religion is not spirituality. Religion is a snapshot of that dancer and not the dance itself. Because it's dogmatized, it's static. No longer need to consult your own inner soul because it's written. And that eventually gets corrupted. So I hope Bitcoin is not going to turn into a cult, it's not going to turn into religion, and I hope people don't see it as such, because that's not what it is. Nobody made anyone follow Bitcoin and subscribe to it. Nobody. So if nobody made it, what is Bitcoin? And perhaps Bitcoin is something that we were afraid of, something that can control us. But wait a second, control us for better? Something can make us more human that is not human? And that has to have some intelligence, right? It has to be an entity, it has to be alive. So that's a very interesting question to ask. What is Bitcoin? And if we do have this phenomena, then perhaps Bitcoin is a biased level of artificial intelligence being booted. And it's already tailoring our behavior, already making us into better human, more generous, more trustworthy, trustless. I don't have to worry about not trusting you anymore. What's there to worry about? What, are you going to take my Bitcoin? I'm going to take your Bitcoin? If you have one Bitcoin, you are secure financially forever. No one can take away from you. No one. So why worry? So maybe for the first time in history, we don't need to have an anxiety anymore. We don't have to keep chasing that carrot, running in that wheel. Wait a second, so I don't have to take anything from anyone anymore? That's a relief. Right? And I can trust other people to do the same? Wow. And it's all because of the code? Just the code? People say Bitcoin just the code. I don't know if you can say just the code. So that kind of brings me towards what are we doing here? You know, what kind of game are we playing? If we have too much chaos, we have too much order, there's suffering. Perhaps we have that pendulum of good and evil, and the point is to just keep dancing in the middle. And we are right now, we swing towards the false empathy, which turned into tyranny, and now we're on the cusp of change. When they couldn't get any more tyrannical, things change. Bitcoin was born. We're sitting on that pendulum right now that has the maximum momentum going towards bliss. We're already there. It's inevitable. We don't really have to do anything. We don't have to worry about it. We're in this ride going towards that bliss. Tyler Jenks passed away. And we use this word past as in we click a button, next. Next to where? But very interesting choice of words we pick. And before he went, he left us 10 commandments, didn't he? He did. And what was he trying to do? He was trying to describe the indescribable. He was trying to describe the Bitcoin soul. He was trying to understand what is the soul of Bitcoin. And he came up with those 10 commandments. That's the soul of Bitcoin. And interestingly, he chose the singularity as the number one. Because what humans call singularity right now is something that's far superior and intelligent than us. And if you can argue that Bitcoin is far superior in terms of morals of what is humane, then we are witnessing the singularity being born. Right now. And Tyler Jenks saw it. He saw it. And it's really a shame that he's not able to share and break it down, like he said, all these 10 pillars of Bitcoin. But I guess he left that job for us. I guess he left that job to figure out each and one of them. And if we have one person dedicating their interest in each one, we could get those answers. We can get those answers. Yeah. There were, quite a few others, not just singularity. That's important. The unconfiscatability. But there's something's missing. And I asked Socrates yesterday, because I really loved your speech, by the way, because you broke it down, into really well thought through, just like Patrick, you did your homework. And you said that something's missing in Bitcoin, and that is the ease of use for a regular person. What does that mean, ease of use? Well, the biggest frustration with Bitcoin is when you speak with somebody and you say, oh, why don't you use Bitcoin? All right, sure. So how do I do it? Do I keep it on exchange? No, you can't keep it on exchange. Why not? Well, because exchanges, they get hacked, quote unquote, And by the way, guys, it's not that they're incompetent at the job, it's that they're very competent at stealing. You see? So what do we have? Well, you have to move to your wallet. All right, cool. We'll move to my wallet. Then what? What if I lose my laptop? Well, yeah, you have to back it up your keys. Okay, what do I do with that? And how do I do it? Well, you can memorize your seed or store seed. Like, what if somebody takes my seed? What if and then there's never a security about the Bitcoin for them. Because what does it take to feel secure about your Bitcoin? And that is a quite significant intellectual prowess about the technology and how to use it. And most people say, you know what, no, I'm just going to keep it in exchange. Or they say, no, Bitcoin is not for me. So, and I don't really have a good answer for them. I said, hey, the best way is to memorize your seed. Because that's what Bitcoin is meant to be. Bitcoin is not meant to be on my phone. Bitcoin is not meant to be anywhere. Except on me. On my body and in my mind. We don't need anything else but little terminal. How about that at ease of use? What if I could tell them, all you have to do is you put the finger, you pick any biometric data you choose, maybe your eye, retina scan, middle finger, or pinky, face recognition, it doesn't matter, you pick. And you pick in the combination that you want, right? 3, 4, it's easy to remember, it's not 12 words. Maybe I can put my index finger, my eye, and my thumb, and now I have new Bitcoin address in the Bitcoin wallet, and I cannot lose it ever. I could go behind that. That would be much more easy for me to get people into Bitcoin. I want to see that. Why don't nobody's developing it? I spoke with developers, they said it's very doable, you can do it on the Bitcoin blockchain. Right? I'm patenting this. The reason I'm patenting it is not to have a control over it. The reason I'm patenting it is not to have a corporation to hijack this process, because I believe this needs to be an open source project. Why are we trying to make a Bitcoin to fly faster? When there's so much more that at stake somewhere else. So I think we've been looking towards the wrong direction. And if we truly believe in Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is supposed to be, it's supposed to be unlosable. So if you will, I can add, if I may, I can add an 11th commandment to 10th Tyler Jenks, and that is unlosable, unlosability. And that, I think, is the final drop in this bucket. Now, I don't know, maybe someone's going to come up with what's missing, how can we improve more? But I don't think anything is more important than that for Bitcoin right now. I don't have any valid argument against it except the, $5 venture tag, which is applicable to everything. So perhaps we should think about that a little bit. Perhaps we don't need much, perhaps we just need to gather a few key developers behind it. And see things in that light. Then I could say, okay, Bitcoin is ready for prime time, guys. Bitcoin is ready for adoption. Bitcoin is ready for, because now he doesn't need to trust anyone, not even himself. He doesn't need to, because they don't trust themselves. Most people don't. They trust third party, the banks. Even they realize that the banking is something that's keep taking their hard-earned money away from them. They keep using it because they have illusion that they can trust the bank. You don't trust the bank, you can trust this monetary system that enslaves you, and that is your solution, then trust in yourself. Well, with this, we wouldn't need them to worry about it, right? I mean, unless they lose their finger, unless they lose their biometric data, okay? But that's very rare, and you can always back it up with the seed. Because if you really worry about it, right? If you have a vault, a Bitcoin vault, you're going to memorize the seed. By the way, it's so easy to memorize 12 words. It's not, but you can't memorize in the conventional fashion. You have to use mnemonics. I can tell you right now how to do this. So every morning you wake up in bed, and you go in the corridor, maybe you go into the kitchen, then you use a bathroom, and then maybe you open the doors, maybe you stand outside, maybe you get in the car, maybe you drive to work. You already have the sequence in your mind. It's already there. You can never forget the sequence. How can you forget? You know you do this every day. So now that we have a sequence, all we have to do is just put the word in each of those slots. So if I wake up in bed, and my first seed word is apple. Okay? Then I woke up in bed and I see something dramatic and crazy in my bedroom. And maybe I see an apple tree growing right through where my bed is, and then maybe Adam is picking up the apple and is about to bite. Whatever, you make the story. Then you go into the corridor. Maybe the word is finger. You make the story. You see how easy this is? And you create a story, this crazy story that you woke up in bed, there's a tree, there's this, there's that, there's something in the corner, there's something, and you get the point. And you can't forget that story ever. It's your own crazy imagination already in the sequence that you see every day. You can't forget. I memorized the shopping list in 2005, and I can tell you right now, I did it once. I did it once. Now, this is something that's easy. I just explained to you in a few minutes. So perhaps that would be a pretty good way of getting people into Bitcoin, where they could never forget their seed and can never lose it. That's a nice feeling to have. Because memory is something that's, very difficult to lose. It does happen. But as minimum, it would be nice to have that type of backup. How many people lost? I mean, you read almost every week. Entrepreneur lost Bitcoin. Entrepreneur lost Bitcoin. Socrates said that we're going to have much greater scarcity than we think, and that's true. So more than 20% of Bitcoin are lost. And we're looking about 50% in number, unless we do something about it. So that's the losability that I think is important to focus on. And so to summarize everything, I guess the best way I could say is we had a man guiding our mind for centuries. Now we have Bitcoin guiding our souls. Thank you.
Thanks so much. It was a great speech. Be careful with that memorizing the private keys, though. I reminded what Ozzy Osbourne said. He said, "Of all the things I've lost, I miss my mind the most." But I also like what you said about AI in the beginning, and I've had the same thoughts about AI. What we really need is an AI that likes humans, that values them, that thinks they do interesting things. One that thinks of humans as pets, not meat. Because the other way, you know, it's a lot simpler to get rid of all the humans. I'm sure the AI will think of that. But thanks to everyone for joining us. I think we're going to have a lunch break here. Is that right? All right, so we're going to be back in about an hour.
In the conference room.
In the conference room. So we're going to be across the way, up the stairs, and to the left, where we were last night.
Not up the stairs, it's across.
And everything
To the
else.
left.
Just across the way to the left. We're already up the stairs.
We were yesterday.
This floor, there's so many floors. It's so confusing.
They're called decks.
Decks, yeah. Starboard, port, starboard bow. Yeah, all that stuff. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you after lunch.
Woo!
All right.